Morning.
Hola, hola. How's it going? How are you,
Mate,
Lorenzo? You
I'm
good?
hanging out. I'm hanging out my arse.
Oh, silly,
I was at
silly sausage.
silly. It was a silly sausage at a 30th party yesterday,
Oh,
and
fair play, fair play.
yeah, I mean, I'm at that age now, Steph, where basically every month I've got a 30th, which is great,
Mm,
but my liver is not loving it at the moment. I'll be
yeah,
honest. How are you?
taxing on the body parts and equally the money, the wallet as well. I bet.
Yeah, and the wallet. Oh, the
Um,
wedding's next. I'm sure that's where
uh,
you are at the moment, isn't it? The
yeah.
weddings. It's
Well, I'm way past the 30th, but yeah. Now, nah. To be fair, 2 beers whilst watching Milan Pisa on a Friday night is it's the most excitement I get. But yeah, doing good, feeling good this morning. Um, yeah, obviously I kind of did the post match after the Pisa game. Bit of
yeah.
disappointment around the air, isn't there, as in the fan base on what should have been a win. But
Mm,
um, but yeah, not a bad result last night with Napoli
absolutely.
beating Inter, kind of stemming that momentum that they were building, and not to sound horrible as well. De Bruyne coming off for Napoli as well. There's it's not we're not just the only ones suffering with injuries, are
No.
we? So it's yeah, man, yeah, it's
Mate, the Pisa result's not good, but it does make it like in isolation, like not as bad, isn't it? Like now we've seen yesterday's results, right?
yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure. I mean, drawing, I think more so. I mean, towards the end of that game was very much looking like another Cremonese
yeah,
situation, wasn't it? Where it was another loss against the promoted side, and obviously that I think
at
that would
home,
have been,
at
yeah,
home,
at home. Yeah, that would have
yeah,
been very concerning. And not to say drawing isn't concerning or an improvement, but it is an improvement because you get a point, and we gained the point in it now. And um, scoring that late and also kind of like basically nearly winning it. It was much more convincing than the Cremonese game. So I don't feel like we've gone back to that first game of the
no,
season, but there are still clearly some things we need to work on. We could spend a whole video talking about
yeah.
the finishing and the striker quality and such, but we're not here for that today, are we?
No, no. Today, I thought we should have a little bit of a shine light on. We've spoken a lot about the players, we've spoken a lot about the tactics, haven't we? But we haven't really spoken about Allegri's like way he's carried himself and the club, how he's protected the team, how he's dealt, with pressers and the sort of pressure that the club has been under,
Yeah.
which I think he's done a fantastic job of alleviating. To be perfectly honest, he's actually like calmed the whole situation down,
Mm.
and kind of wanted to also speak about how like that was not the case this time last year with
Yeah.
Fonseca under the helm and the pressure
Mm.
he was under,
Mm.
and the way he dealt with it, and that throw players under the bus. I mean, it's
Mm.
completely different, isn't it? And so I just want to kind of shine light on that and give
Yeah.
give Allegri a little bit of kudos, actually, just how he has steadied the ship, not just in terms of results, but just attitude towards the whole team and club. It's really good. So I think I wanted to
Mm.
start with that. What your thoughts were,
Yeah.
kind of on how he dealt with, maybe because it's fresh. Yesterday's really poor result.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also kind of outside of the squad. That you made some good points just on like this scenarios where Teo and Leao are thrown under the bus.
Mm,
Used as examples to drop them from the team.
yeah,
We're not seeing that from Allegri, but there's also a piece as well from the rest of the league as well. Like Allegri's not gone on the attack on any other team, on any other coach, and there was sort of instances where Fonseca and Conceição were feeling the heat and the pressure, the walls closing
mm,
in. They like a dog backed into a corner. They were
yeah.
doing that. They were just
You're
barking
right.
at anything, which isn't the way, and it clearly is the way that we knew when we were bringing Allegri. This is what I expected: someone who understands the league and then the sort of the politics of the league to not do that, because that doesn't create any favors for yourselves as well. We could
Yeah,
easily also at times spoken about refereeing decisions as well, which have been in our favor, out of our favor amongst some of these games, but particularly the ones out of our favors. He could have easily spent a lot of time using excuses into that, but he hasn't. An example being, the Pisa game as well. We could sit here and talk about VAR on the second goal, VAR on the first goal that Pisa scored, the Pisa goals, I mean. But he didn't make any excuses. It
no,
was on to the players. It
yeah,
was, we should have killed this game off in the first half. We squandered the first half. And I've seen a lot of excuses from people on X and whoever you kind of had having dialogues with, that this went against us, this went against us. reality is he knows that our squad should be doing better, and there isn't any excuses in the fact that we have the injuries. There isn't any excuses in the fact that some of these players are quite young. So it's kind of like a level of protection, but an expectation as well at the same time that this is Milan, we need to achieve this, and no excuses should be in the way of that. And I think a lot of us fans need to remember that at the same time. Like, it's easy for us to kind of put a screenshot up of Gabby getting like mauled to the floor, but we shouldn't have been in that place in the first place. And for having to rely on that not being given against us, and let's be real, we'd still be 1-1 at that point in the game anyway. The game should have been dead in the water.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm sure Allegri gave him a right rollicking at half time, going like, what are you doing? You're 1-0 up, but you're letting them back into the game. So there's a lot of knowledge to not be naive. And I think a lot of these players also need to stand up now and be accounted for, because he's protecting them really well, but also setting a level of expectation as well. And I think as the squad grows, you're going to see some hard cuts, a la, Jimenez in the future as well. I've alluded to that. I think he's going to be someone that Allegri, if you give him the chance to go, we're going to give you a different striker in January, but it means we sell Santi, he'll bite your hand off for that. Yeah. So,
but at the same time, like you said, he's supporting Jimenez, which is exactly what you want. I mean, the amount of time. Sorry to interrupt, just to say, like, he hugged after the. I don't know. Was it the? Yeah, it was the Pisa game. Yeah, after the Pisa game, like, he came off, and I think he gave him a massive hug. Or
I think that might have been the
Fiorentina game, actually.
Juve or Fiorentina, I think one of those two games. Yeah.
But he's clearly embracing and supporting the player as he should while he is playing for Milan, starting and whatever, which is exactly the right attitude. But if push comes to shove and he's not performing, then, it's like any job. Frank conversations have to be had. But that's the right way to do it. You've got to support the people while they're in the positions, not like put them down. Like, God, the Teo Hernandez and more Rafa, like the Rafa benching still, to me, if you think back at it, Christ, that was not the right way to do it, was it?
You're giving the media like fuel for the fire, aren't you? And also another thing as well, he's saying the right, and this is going to be the theme of this video, he's saying the right things to the media, isn't he? It's kind of, he's not giving them anything to go off. However, in games, not saying however, but like in games, I read something up about the game on Friday. He was kind of criticizing Santi on the pitch, going like, wake up, like, get involved. I think that he only had like 30 touches in the game, which is crazy in like 70 minutes. Get involved in the game. So it's not as if like they're getting away with murder, these players, but he's doing it in a way that isn't allowing, let's say, the press to then go away and have a massive news article story, which is then going to bring the player down even further. Which is kind of like the examples that you said about Leao and Teo, where, all right, I'm going to bench him. Okay, why are they being benched? And you're throwing on Terrachan or Okafor.
When we were losing games as well, like even what,
It wasn't like a simple rotation. It was like, all right, I'm going to pick on someone. They're the scapegoat. Yeah. They're the reasons why we're not winning. And then they come on the pitch and they help contribute to an equalizer against Lazio. It's crazy. It's the wrong way to go about it. Whereas Allegri's kind of going, no, I have faith in all of you. We're now a depleted squad, and you're all going to have to kind of help us in this moment. And there's no point kind of like, dropping them down and picking scapegoats, because we are a thinner squad this year compared to last year, which even is more apparent that he cannot kind of use any, create scapegoats or use excuses, but at the same time still have a level of pressure. He can't just go, oh, I've got a thinner squad. That's Tyler's problem. I've got injuries. That's the medical team's problem. So I kind of I praise Allegri and everything he's done so far. He's done everything right. I don't know what do you think about him?
Yeah, obviously we know what Allegri's like. There will probably come a time where we'll be putting our hair out, and I hope that's not for a long time to come. But yeah, you said it absolutely perfectly. The way he's just like calming the pressure. He's just like, he's almost like putting the lid on the stove. You know what I mean? He's not letting it bubble over. He's just putting it over there, saying the right things, like we said after matches. Pushing them during the games, but supporting the players when they need it. And it's night and day. And I actually want to highlight how night and day it is. A year ago, we had our worst. I wouldn't even say it wasn't results-wise. It was more discipline. And I think retrospectively, we can look back and say maybe how Fonseca, also Conceição had different issues, but we'll focus on Fonseca to start off with, because, that's exactly a year from today. He was in charge.